Hey everybody, this is Octavia, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about your productivity edge and how relationships can interact with that edge. So just wanting to define your productivity edge is when you just feel like you are on, you are sharp in your mind, you make the best decisions, you are impressing, influencing your clients, you're leading your team as a visionary, they feel you in your edge and like you're thinking really quickly, you've got really good creativity, innovative solutions going on. And so what happens when relationships come into that, or personal relationships come into that? So that's what I want to talk about today. I am Octavia, a relationship strategist for entrepreneurs, intuitive relationship strategist for entrepreneurs. And so welcome here. I'm going to keep this one really, really short for you. So when we have an impact such as a loss of a relationship, or a relationship is under some type of stress or strain, oh my gosh, oftentimes there can be like a stress cortisol, like, push through, clarifying. Most of the time when we have relationship stress, we find ourselves like distracted, and it really cuts into our productivity. So today I want to talk about the specific aspect that can happen when we have a relationship loss. So this could be like the really big loss of somebody moving out of their life and not being alive anymore, like a grief kind of loss. It could be the loss of a relationship that really meant a lot, that lasted a long time, or a short-term relationship. It could also be a relationship that's just having some stress and there's a thought process going on. So what does all of this do to your productive edge? Well, when we have different parts of our brain. We've got the lower brain here and the prefrontal cortex here. When we're having these kinds of heavy emotions like sadness, we can have like an energy dropout, an energy drain, and it can kind of sneak up on us. Like that you've got a situation going on, that you're grieving, that you have some kind of loss. And then you have these great moments where everything just seems normal. And then all of a sudden your energy just kind of like drains out of you. That's a clear indication that you're having some emotional processing, because emotional processing takes energy. So this sadness will lead to some emotional energy dropouts. You might even feel it physically. And when you have your edge, so I'm contrasting here, right? That's kind of the one end of the spectrum where you feel heavy. The loss is creating a heaviness. It's pulling energy and resources away from things that you normally have access to. And so the edge is where you're at peak performance. You've got all of yourself in play. Every part of your mind is on fire, you're activated, and you have access to all of your resources. So I labeled this program Productivity Edge and Relationships, because when there's something going on in our relationships, especially something that's making us sad or experiencing grief or loss, it's going to be hard for us to access that edge. And also, like, there's two aspects. So that was kind of like the modern neuroscience angle on things. The loss will kind of bring you into a stressful part of your brain, which makes it harder for you to access the more lively, happier, innovative, creative part of your brain. That's part of your edge, right? Your competitive edge, your intellectual edge, your wit, your smarts, your savvy, like all of that. The ancient neuroscience read on this is the sadness and the energy dropouts, the current situation that you're experiencing may very well relate in your subconscious, in another part of your personal, your humanity, might relate to something from a past situation, another type of loss. And so even though the current situation has plenty going on with it, you may also be processing an older form of loss that you didn't realize. So that's where I bring in the indigenous protocols and take a look, back in your past to find out what's all connected. And then I call that like emotional batch processing, because you can accelerate the healing process to some extent. I mean, there's other strategies involved as well. You can accelerate your recovery from these kinds of difficult situations by emotional batch processing. So that's all I have today. Don't expect yourself to have that intense edge that you love so much about yourself if you're going through something difficult like relationship stress, especially a type of sadness from a breakup or a loss, or stress in the relationship. But change, even in a current relationship, could cause the same type of, a sense of loss just because there's a change that happened. All right. Well, I want to say thank you so much for being here with me today. It's been a total pleasure. I'm Octavia, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.